Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we'll be doing a detailed camera review of the POCO X4 Pro 5G. So POCO X4 Pro 5G is the latest mid-range smartphone from POCO in India, and this device comes with a 64 megapixel triple camera setup, and you also get a 16 megapixel selfie camera. So let's see how good the camera experience is for this price segment. So before getting started, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So first let's have a look at the camera hardware. The POCO X4 Pro 5G comes with a 64 megapixel sensor. It's a Samsung sensor with f1.8 aperture. You also get a secondary 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens and a third 2 megapixel macro sensor. For selfies, we have a 16 megapixel selfie camera with f2.2 aperture. So let's see how the camera performance is for this price segment. In terms of daylight conditions, the 64 megapixel sensor does a good job in bringing details. The colors are quite good and offers good details too. Unlike other phones in this segment, the POCO X4 Pro manages colors pretty well, and there is no saturation issues and colors remain more or less natural, and even the sky colors are quite good with processing. The sharpness levels are not impressive though, and this is evident when you pixel peep. There is noise in the photos in the daylight conditions, and this can be definitely improved. The dynamic range is once again pretty good and works pretty well. Overall, we like the quality of the daylight shots, but sharpness levels of the 64 megapixel shooter needs improvement, and also the contrast seems to be slightly on the higher side. Next, moving on to the ultra wide angle camera. You get an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and here again the images are quite decent with good colors. While the ultra wide images are definitely usable, you can see that noise is pretty much evident on the entire photo. The colors are similar to the primary camera though. Now moving on to the close-up shots, the phone comes with pretty good imaging capabilities and the colors are once again pretty decent, but the contrast seems to be slightly messed up and on the higher side. The sharpness levels are quite good though. The phone does come with 2 megapixel macro mode and the performance is quite decent at its best. While colors are much better than some of the other phones with macro sensor, it is nowhere close to the 5 megapixel tele macro sensor which we have seen on a lot of Redmi and POCO devices. The details are good, the colors are also okay, but the images tends to be noisy or grainy. Next, moving on to the portraits, the phone does a good job with portraits. The skin tones are also good and the edge detection is implemented well. The portraits came out well. They are bright and vivid too, and even outdoor portraits with lights also looks quite good. Next, moving on to the low light captures. The low light performance is decent in indoor lighting or artificial lighting for a phone in this segment, but images tends to be a bit too soft. The sharpness levels definitely needs improvement. When you turn on the night mode, the images are more cleaner and there is an effort to reduce the noise, and it succeeds to an extent as well. But in extreme low light, while the details are good, there is some noise as well. But definitely it needs improvement, or rather a bit more fine tuning, and there is definitely room for improvement. Finally, the selfie camera. The 16 megapixel does produce good selfies. Once again, we like the skin tones of selfies, and the colors looks good along with dynamic range as well. Since selfies are more of a personal choice, you can judge based on the images shown. The phone also has portrait mode for selfies. Here it does a decent job with portrait selfies, although edge detection could be better. The low light selfies are also decent. Now moving on to video recording, it can record videos only in 1080p at 30 fps and it supports stabilization. And here the quality is decent but not class leading. The stabilization isn't implemented really well and this could be improved. The colors are good and details are also decent for the price segment. The ultra wide angle camera can record videos in 1080p resolution with stabilization and it produces decent results once again. But once again, sharpness levels are not so great. The phone also supports slow motion and the quality is strictly average. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the Poco X4 Pro 5G. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the front camera sample. That was a detailed camera review of the Poco X4 Pro 5G. With good daylight captures, good portraits, selfies and decent low light experience, the camera performance is quite decent overall. The low light performance isn't bad but can be improved. The macros are okay but not great, and video quality needs improvement, especially the stabilization, which needs a bit more fine tuning. So that was a detailed camera review of the Poco X4 Pro 5G. So what do you guys think about the camera on the Poco X4 Pro 5G? Do share in your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.